Hey guys, the Monk52 here, of course, and today we're talking about Constellation. Let's dive right into the module choices. Recommended module first slot is main battery mod. You could go aim A guns mod. Those are the two options really. Your secondaries are kind of crap, so please don't spec into them. Just use your main battery mod. That is probably the best way for you. Prop mod is life here. Steering is actually fine. You could run damage control, but I think prop mod is going to help you a lot more than you think. Concealment is always a good choice here, and artillery plotting room is what I'd recommend. It's just a bit more comfortable. The accuracy is god tier, so buff it and make it nice. You could go with main battery mod. Maybe it doesn't even need the 10% because it's, in my opinion, it's one of the most accurate battleships in the game, if not the most. I'm still waiting confirmation on that, but yeah. A lot big health pool, 63k. It's got torpedoes, it's got radar, it's got plane, spotter, everything. It's got all the bells and whistles, really. Only thing is missing is sonar, really. You can see the armor, 63k is not bad. 16-inch guns as well. Colorado guns, but with a little bit more pen, in my opinion. Or maybe just Colorado just hits that hard, but it is pretty darn smacking. Monster A as well. It's not going to help you against the carrier, but it'll do something. 33 knots, speed, not bad. And yeah, decent concealment. 27mm bow, which is important, will bounce 15-inch shells. If you take that off, you've got a 30mm coating, torpedo protection, which will bounce any shell you want to bounce at the tier. Obviously, if you're fighting Musashi, it's going to hurt. But yeah, a lot of superstructure, but underneath the superstructure is a 57mm deck plating. So that's pretty tanky there. But the Citadel is under his waterline, that's pretty good, but it is pretty boxy. It's relatively easy to do some tremendous damage to the Constellations. They're just very boxy and very chunky. Just not very... It's like a battle cruiser, but it's gone on. It's not really... It's been boxing quite a bit. Armor for the turrets is Colorado-esque armor. Still pretty meaty armor turrets in terms of that, so you can be aware of that. In terms of commander choice, if you have Azurely in New Jersey, she's probably my most comfortable choice. I'm not going to say she's the best, mostly because like you're so accurate. New Jersey's inaccuracy over William Sims is well worth it. It's well worth the swap up. So you run Auto for main gun AP damage, and you run Arthas for the 20% buff damage, and it pretty nasty. Yeah, also Paolo's a good choice as well. He's good for the railed. And here's your free-to-play option. I know we're jumping right through this real quickly, but I want to get these videos done in a reasonable time. Run Brawler, you can run Not One for the Nuisance, Crisscross, Firefighter, Mass Mechanic, and Fight Fire with Fire with Pal D. Revel and Cunningham. I like to run... The reason I've got accuracy builds on Azurely New Jersey is because I run it on other boats, and I can't be swapping out all the time. But you run like a monster AP pen build, AP damage build, you'll probably do fine, because I've run it even without accuracy perks, and it does pretty spicy. I wouldn't recommend running drill bits. I think you need to get up and moving a wee bit. Having 33 knots of speed is quite nice, so just be aware of that. Here onto the battle here. It's an interesting battle. I think it showcases the Constellation in terms of using all its features, though. We probably still need to play a little bit more before we can get a definitive like how-to on this, I would say. But this is a good first look. This is a very spicy boat. The accuracy is, in my opinion, it's not been confirmed. I will say this, not been confirmed, but it's got some pretty monster accurate guns, like you'll see here. Very first shot in Constellation I did in a live stream on Twitch I had. I'm going to do this stream pretty soon on YouTube though, so don't worry about it for those who are not on the Twitch side. But yeah, the first shot half tilt with another Constellation. It's pretty nasty. This thing does the accuracy of these guns are just out of this world. Really insane. It's like a mini Kansas, that's how I'd say it. Honestly, this thing is ridiculous. Comparing this thing to Siegfried is like, it's like Siegfried, you know, Mom, I want Constellation. Constellation home, freaking Siegfried. Yeah, this thing is monstrous, honestly, when it comes to the gun accuracy. It's kind of it's terrifying, really. They gave it 27mm of bow plating, stern plating, 30mm sides. It is vulnerable broadside, but it should be, because it is a battle cruiser. It's not necessarily a battleship. So yeah, but even so, it's just pretty monstrous. You've got radar, which honestly, if you're playing this boat right, you're not going to use the radar that much, but it will be handy. 9.9 is good range as well. Miyoko here, take a pot shot, not even using accuracy plane, and just look at that dispersion. Every shell lands. We have 8 guns, and all 8 land, and there we go. That's your first salvo for the day, and now we know that Miyoko had 39,200 health. How do we know that? Well, there we go. Firing some torpedoes because I suspect the camp is contested, and it's contested by a destroyer, most likely, because there he is there. Now we can radar him if we want, which is amazing again. Fire a salvo here. The reason we're not switching to HE right now, because I think that King George is going to do something. Though, retrospect, I probably should have switched to HE. And then after my durations run out, we pop our radar. Now I'm really holding off on this radar here because I want to get maximum usage out of it. Now I don't have sonar in Constellation. That's the only thing is missing, you know. So yeah, we'll have to see. There's a radar pop just a little bit before time. And I want to see what this, because lightning, they can put our pot shot. You can see the accuracy is just, if this was HE, yeah. 5 out of 8. This is a destroyer, by the way, chat. These are not easy targets to hit. I know he was kind of sailing broadside, but still. If he does almost connect, but, you know, horseshoes and hand grenades, chat, it doesn't make a difference if they almost did it. It makes a difference if they did. Looks like our destroyer is having a little bit rough time. Lightning did get away. If we fired HE, maybe we would have killed him, but tomato. Taking some pot shots at King George. The King George has been heavily nerfed since his armor change. It was nigh impossible to citadel before for years, and now they've changed it, so it's very easily citadeled. It's a bit rough for the King George, honestly, because it's not really been overperforming, but yeah, oh well. We got a Colorado behind us, who's taking the brunt of the fire, which is always good for us. But even if the King George is shooting at us, we're not really too worried. Now this thing's reversing broadside. We're going to use our accuracy plane, and yeah, you can see these shells do not disperse at all. Really, look at that, and that's a full health King George just gone, just casual. You know, 8 shells yet again. You know, it's not every game. You know, you see a boat that can land consistently every single salvo from a battleship as well, twice on 2 boats. You know. Not every day. So if you catch a broadside in Constellation, you'll be happy as Larry and whoever else is present with you at the time. It's a pretty nasty bow in terms of accuracy. Really, this like the radar, the sonar, the torpedoes. The radar and the torpedoes are all nice and all that, but it's the accuracy that really just sells this boat. Honestly, it doesn't actually need radar or sonar, or radar. It doesn't need any of that. Just give it the accurate guns and it'd be fine. It would be strong as it is. But they have the sonar and the radar to top it off. I keep saying sonar. It's torpedoes. It doesn't have sonar. It's usually, you're used to having sonar and radar at the same time, but it's weird. Oh well, we would have absolutely blapped the Gneisenau, but he's got no health. But then again, you know, we're Constellation, so we don't really care what much health he has. We'll chunk the crap out of him anyway. And there's 3 kills off the bat. You know, this thing is just... Guns are strong, very strong. Armor is very good when angled. Obviously, you can't tank 16-inch shells. And plunging fire is surprisingly effective despite the ridiculously potent 57mm deck plating, which is more than an American standard battleship, which is 38. But they do have layered decks, the Americans. I do not know if this one does as well. It's very difficult to tell the armor scheme. I don't think it does. I think it's just straight 57, which is the same thickness as Yamato deck plating. Yes, 2 tiers above it. It has that same deck plating. Makes sense, because America. Akatsuki, or Akatsuki, is doing stuff. You can see the shells just did not disperse, and that's probably... No, actually, the shells were too accurate there. If they dispersed a bit more, we would have got them, but... just a little bit too pinpoint. Just, no, never thought I'd say that, but yeah. A little bit too pinpoint to actually get that kill in a DD. But he did go down anyway, I believe. Or is that... It's difficult to see when you're watching replays sometimes. And with Constellation here, he's really running away. And this is a little bit of chase to Constellation. We'll speed this up a little bit for you guys, so hold on 1 second. And we're back. Now we're spotted here, and we've been spotted for a wee bit, so it might be time to pop a radar here. And that DD is not... Well, he was now. He was on Death's Edge, but then again, Constellation doesn't take any of my prisoners at all, so yeah, we landed about, would have been like maybe 2 or 3 shells there, and it doesn't really matter. All that matters is one that hit him. Now obviously he's fired torpedoes, so we can be aware of that. We're still running a radar because it's just the duration, but that's how it goes. Enemy Constellation takes a pot shot. We got to worry about shells coming in through our nose, so we just take a wee angle here, and our torpedo protection belt takes most of it out. Any planing's just been over pens or deck penetrations, nothing really that major. Anyway, as you can see, the turning is actually fine. We don't really have to worry about it. We just go to a full stop right now, and we'll just slow down. We'll pick up our speed later on. Now, you can see we're shooting at another Constellation here, which is a good example of taking a look at the deck plating. It's just 2 of them left. I believe it's the Shores and a Constellation. So we fire our guns there. We're going to fire all the full salvo there, but he's turning a little bit, so we really want to try and get a situation where he gives us a broadside, but it doesn't look like he does. He doesn't commit to the full turn there. Yeah, he turns right back in, which is going to ruin our shot a little bit. But we do land a couple bounces, a couple penetrations. You can see it's quite resilient. We really haven't taken much damage. We've got 3 heals. We're not even bothering to use that right now. We've got 4 kills, by the way, after killing that destroyer. So we will be hunting the Kraken soon. That's our plan, at least. But Constellation is really not wanting to fight. He is interested in running away and conserving his ship HP here. So, yeah. I don't know. Honestly, if I was in his shoes here, I would not be worried too much about killing I would be worried more about killing the other battleship there to my right. Or the cruiser, actually. The Champignon. Which I don't know if he's spotted. He probably isn't because he's a Champignon. So, probably not going to get spotted there. But yeah, I would be fighting the situation. You have torpedoes. You've got some advantages here. You've got the radar. If you don't have DDs and low health. These situations are entirely winnable. It's only 2 versus 4. These are reasonable odds. These are not horrific odds. Shores can easily kill a DD. So can a Constellation. You've got the radar. You've got torpedoes. You've got some viable tools here. And you can see we did some really nice damage. Again, a little bit too much angle, too much broadside against us in the Constellation there. And we picked up 130k damage, by the way. Like, it seems like a really slow game at the end of it. But you'd be surprised how much damage we did early game. It's really making the difference here. We've got a spotter playing up. Constellation is giving a little bit too much broadside. And you can see those shells on the right just don't want to disperse. They have glue attached to them, clearly. And we land 6 pens. He was just a little bit too angled to get citadels, but not enough to not suffer penetrations. So that did a fair amount of damage to him. I'm sure he's not happy, and that was the retaliation salvo was fired there. Yeah, so he's still running away. He's playing the runaway game, and we're just going to keep shooting him here. And we're just really trying to hit and see where the Constellation is a weak point in terms of like shooting out with big caliber guns. We actually duked that one, or is that me aiming? It could be me aiming there, honestly. I really want to get the Shores kill because really important. If we get rid of the Shores, we can pick up a Kraken, and it would just be Constellation. We'll just be chasing him, and maybe we'll pick up 6 kill here. But yeah, it looks like the Shores. Oh no, the Shores has gone dark. He's in gun range though, because he's right by that island there. So if we see him, he's probably dead. Oh, there he is. He pops in. Looks like those torpedoes are going to try and kill him, but we're going to fire our guns in the hopes. American shells are a little bit too slow for this. Looks like torpedoes are going to get him there. God damn it, Summers. Well, no Kraken, or at least potential for a 6 kill here. Looks like Constellation is doing some stuff here. He's still angled to us, so we're a little bit hesitant to shoot him right now, but obviously we can't right now. We've got to reload. So we'll see what we can do here. It looks like Constellation is giving us the nice broadside here. Is that him giving up? Which is not a bad idea at this point. Ooh, that looks nasty. Ooh, okay. We chunked him, but we didn't quite kill him. We're getting a little bit unlucky. That's my luck. As we call it, we monked him there. So we could just go for the nose here. Probably should finish him off. He's only on like 10k health, so we'll work with what we've got here. It looks like I think he's giving me broadside. I think he's given up at this point. Again, which is not bad at this point. It's pretty rough, but it's still winnable, It still would have been winnable. Would have been rough, but would have been winnable. Anyway, folks, that's our Kraken. We picked it up and battle ended here. Reached a new milestone. Wonderful. 180k, essentially. 6 citadels. 36 shell hits, which is quite substantial in terms of damage per shell hit. And 2.8k damage, guys. Hope you enjoyed. 2 dev strikes, by the way. And I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye for now.